Hi guys, welcome to 4K channel. Today I'm going to share with you overprints on banknotes. So what's an overprint? Overprint is any text or graphic that has been added onto the banknote after it has been printed. There's many reasons for doing an overprint and I'm going to share a variety of those reasons. First, we're going to start with specimen banknotes. So here's a specimen banknote from Samoa, and it has the word specimen overprinted across the face of the banknote. The serial numbers are all zeros. So these specimen banknotes have no face value. These are issued prior to release of new banknotes as a reference, so the banks know what a genuine note looks like. Here I have a beautiful specimen note from Guatemala. And this is a little bit different. So instead of printing the word, they have hole punched the word into the paper so that it's now visible on both sides. So this one is from Katanga, which is part of current-day Democratic Republic of Congo. So besides specimen banknotes, you can have overprints for commemoration. So commemorative banknotes are basically limited issue banknotes. They can have text, graphic, or seals, basically celebrating, remembering a special event or person. And here we have two banknotes from Thailand and one from Persia, and basically they have these overprints where the watermark would be. I'm not really sure of the authenticity of these commemorative notes, but they make for a great example. So basically these are low-cost alternative to redesigning and reissuing a limited banknote. So this is kind of like a cheap way of doing commemoration. Other reasons for overprints is during wartime occupation. So when forces move into an occupied territory, one of the first things they do is they want to control the money, because if they control the money, they control the land, they control the people. So these two banknotes are from Yugoslavia. These are 100 dinara banknotes. They were originally printed in 1929, but the ones I'm showing you here were overprinted in the occupied territories. This one here was overprinted by German forces while they were occupying Serbia. So Serbia used to be part of Yugoslavia. So in 1941, they took a 1929 banknote and do a lot of heavy overprinting on top of a gorgeous banknote. So a lot of this heavy brown overprinting was done on both back and front. I'm not too sure about the authenticity of this particular stamp here, but these banknotes were used in Serbia during World War II by German forces. Here's the same banknote. This is the Italian version. So Italians were occupying Montenegro, which was also part of Yugoslavia. So guys, Yugoslavia eventually broke up into these countries that we now know. This happened in 1990s. So Yugoslavia broke up into Croatia, Serbia, Montenegro, Macedonia, Slovenia. And also Bosnia. So this banknote was used by Italian forces in Montenegro. and instead of doing heavy printing, all they did was put some ink stamps across it with the word verificato printed on it. I have another occupation banknote to show you. So this one is Japanese forces occupying territory in China. So what they did was, instead of using Chinese banknotes and overprinting on those, they brought their own banknotes. These are 10 yen from Japan, and what they did was they overprinted 4 characters across the front, and also those 4 characters across the back of the banknote. Basically, it states military notes. And they were clever. These banknotes were not backed by Japanese yen, but they forced the Chinese civilian to accept these notes. Now I also have some of these banknotes with different Nazi military stamps on it. If you look closely, these banknotes have the swastika design on it. So the authenticity of these banknotes is also unknown. Most likely these are fake, modern forgery. So most likely these were not stamped during World War II, but someone basically bought an ink stamper and stamped these notes to make them look more appealing and more, appear more valuable than they are. But they make for a good example, so I wanted to show you those. Also, I have 2 additional banknotes. These are from Poland, and in this case here we have stamps that make it appear as if these banknotes were somehow used, in concentration camps. But again, doubtful authenticity. Another reason for having overprints is during political change. So these 2 beautiful banknotes are from the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So in 1918, when Austro-Hungarian Empire broke up into Austria and Hungary, what happened was Austria stamped banknotes circulating in its territory with this red stamp stating Deutsch Ostrich. So these notes were stamped, and Austria kind of made it their own. And Hungary did something similar. Their seal was a circular seal. I don't have an example of that, but basically same idea. I absolutely love the design on the back of these notes. Very, very stunning. So these are stamped for reasons of political change. Another example I have, a little bit more striking example, is political change that happened after the Shah of Iran was overthrown. So after 1979, the Islamic Republic of Iran was established, and basically they started defacing the banknotes, basically overprinting this intricate design to deface the Shah's portrait. So I have a banknote. These are 2 same banknotes, one without the overprint and this one with this intricate overprint. And I have another variation on the same theme. So these were basically government sanctioned overprints. And I also have an example of a unauthorized overprint. Basically, someone stamped across the face of the Shah, and it states "Down with Shah 1980." And they even stuck a stamp on the left side of the banknote, and even on that stamp, you have the portrait of Shah, and it has been cancelled with these lines. So pretty cool banknotes. Other reasons for having overprints is for provisional or local government. So here is a 100 ruble banknote from Russia. So this has been overprinted on the back by the provisional government of Provincial. So Provincial was a part of the Far Eastern Republic, or East Serbia. So when Provincial broke apart from the Far Eastern Republic in 1920, they started overprinting their design on the back of the note. Here I have 4 banknotes from Spain, and these are one of my favorites. And they're all the same banknotes, but with different overprints. So the story behind these is the political change that happened in Spain. So in 1931, the Spanish monarch, King Alfonso, was overthrown. And this led to the Second Spanish Revolution. And in 1936, the Civil War started. So now we had Republicans against the Nationalists. Nationalists were under General Franco. General Franco, he was more organized, he had more money and, and larger forces. But what he did was he overprinted the banknotes. And these banknotes, these provisional overprints, were then used in the territory occupied by him under his control. So this helped kind of stabilize the economy in the areas he was controlling, and eventually with the assistance of Hitler in 1939, the Republicans surrendered and Franco became the dictator. And he ruled for a long time, from 1939 till 1975. So these are examples of provisional overprints for use in a certain area. Now guys, I want to show you some modern overprints. So these 2 banknotes are from Syria. As you know, all the civil war that's going on in Syria. So these have been overprinted with logos of the rebel forces. So these rebel forces, there's many of them. They're fighting, Bashar al-Assad's regime, and these banknotes have been overprinted with their seals. And again, the authenticity of these overprints is unclear. Now, besides, political change, provisional overprints, you can have overprints where the purpose is to change the face value. Now, this is quite common for stamps. You can have a surcharge, where, $1 stamp becomes, 10 cents, or a $1 stamp becomes $5 stamp. Here, what we have is a banknote from Bosnia, and if you can look through the overprint, originally this banknote was only 10 dinara. So basically what happened here is hyperinflation. So in 1992, this was a 10 dinara banknote, but in 1993, a year later, the hyperinflation was so bad that just to keep up with prices that were doubling daily, weekly, the banks started overprinting and changing the face value of the banknote. So this went from being a 10 dinara small denomination banknote to 100,000 dinara. So, you know, I wish I had a stamper where I could just turn my $1 bill in my pocket and make it into a $100 bill. That would be nice. But, you know, this makes sense. You know, if the prices are doubling daily, to keep up with it, it makes sense to, you know, you won't be able to print banknotes fast enough. It makes sense to, you know, overprint and change the denomination so, you know, you can keep up with it. So this overprint is done for a very specific purpose, to change the face value. I have another example. This is a beautiful banknote. So if you guys like French banknotes like me, you know, when you see one, you know. These French banknotes are just absolutely gorgeous. And this one is no exception. This is from the French territory of Morocco. So this banknote has been overprinted. So all this red and all the red lettering is the overprint. So basically, Morocco was a French territory, and they gained their independence in 1956. So what they did was they took a 1953 banknote, which was originally 5,000 francs, and in 1959 they overprinted and changed the face value. And this is unique because not only they changed the denomination, they also changed the currency. So they went from 5,000 francs to 50 dirham or 50 dirham. So they went from 5,000 francs to 50 dirhams, so changed denomination and the currency. And this Arabic overprint states Kamsin dirham. So this basically was, you know, a transition point. So this is, you know, transitioning from a new, you know, transitioning into a new time. You know, you gained your independence. Now you're moving to a different denomination. So until they started printing their own banknotes in 1965, this was basically a transition point for them. Just an absolutely gorgeous banknote. Now, just the way where you can change the denomination to increase the value, you can go the other way, basically decrease the value. So here I have two banknotes from Mexico, and these are both remainder notes. Remainder notes are, they have a serial number, but they are not signed. So there's no signature. So there's no signature of the, you know, registrar. Basically, these banknotes have never been circulated. So they have been overprinted with billete sin valor, basically saying that these banknotes are worthless. So basically reducing their value from, you know, 10 to a 0. So I have another one, and this one, instead of overprinting, they have hole punched the word amortizado across it, and basically making this a worthless banknote. So basically demonetizing money. So overprint can be done for increasing the value, or basically, you know, making it worthless. Now, you can have overprints for a very special reason, special function. So here is a banknote from Pakistan, and you can see the overprint here on the bottom here. And basically the whole function of this banknote was for people who were traveling from Pakistan to Saudi Arabia for their pilgrimage. So basically, once in their lifetime, Muslims, go to Mecca, and what was happening was, a lot of money was going outside Pakistan, getting kind of laundered in the Gulf states. So what government did was they printed money to be used only for this purpose, for people traveling to Saudi Arabia. So during their Hajj pilgrimage, basically people would take these banknotes so that they can exchange for Saudi riyals when they were there, and then Saudi banks will eventually return these banknotes to Pakistani government. So these banknotes were printed for a very specific function, specific reason. Now, you can also have overprints for security reasons. So here is a gorgeous banknote from Yugoslavia. So now, the problem with this banknote is the fact that this is a fake. So this is 1,000 dinara from 1920, and it's a contemporary counterfeit. And I think this is one of my absolute favorites. The design is just absolutely stunning. I wish this was a real banknote and it would be worth a lot of money, but this is a fake. And the overprint here is across the fake watermark. So it states fake. And, it's been recognized as a fake and it's been marked as a fake, so this cannot get into the circulation. So basically, here the security feature is the overprint makes sure that this banknote will not be misused. Now, playing on the same theme, we have a Confederate banknote from USA, and here the security feature, there's no security feature actually. This banknote is low tech. There's no watermark, there's no security thread. So what can you do to make sure people don't counterfeit this note? So this is where the overprint is actual handwritten signature. So it's been hand signed, the paper has been hand signed, and even the serial number has been handwritten. So, in the past when you didn't have all these security features, people would hand sign these notes, the registrar and the treasurer, and put a serial number on there, so it won't be misused, it won't be counterfeited. Now, coming to the end of this video, I want to show you another category of overprints. So this is overprints done for the purpose of propaganda. So these are overprints on back of hyperinflation money, and these overprints were done by the Nazi Party. So basically what they did was they took this worthless 1920 hyperinflation money. There was plenty of it. It had all been demonetized, so it was worth nothing. So what they did was they overprinted on back of these banknotes their perverted propaganda against, the Jewish community. So all the anti-Semitic propaganda was printed on it. Also, these banknotes were targeting their political rivals, and they would overprint a lot of nationalistic theme on it. So This is another type of overprinting, basically using banknotes as a propaganda media. I have a lot of these banknotes, and if you guys are interested, let me know. I can make a video about the German propaganda in World War II. Just to close, just for fun, I want to share these two banknotes. So this one is a genuine Russian 10 ruble, and this is a fantasy banknote. Basically, it has, you know, the portrait of Putin has been printed on top, just for fun. It says President of Russia from 2018 to 2024. You know, I'm sure Putin won't be too upset seeing his portrait on a banknote, but this one's obviously a fake or a fantasy. And this one is cool. So this one, the overprint is basically handprint, just for fun. You got, you know, Superman versus Batman. So guys, I have shown you a lot of overprints, a lot of reasons why you would have overprints on banknotes. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please, as usual, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, share, like this video, leave some comments, and guys, keep collecting.